The main aim of the book is to bring together the thinking on evidence-based policy making and the way that it is currently being thought about in international development circles. It's a culmination of thinking in the Research and Policy and Development Program, the RAPID program here at ODI, over the past 10 years or so. There was a predecessor to the book in 2004 called Bridging Research into Policy and International Development, and this is an addendum to that, if you like, but a lot more systematized and innovative toolkits provided in that. The main audience for the book, I would say, is anybody working anywhere in between the development of knowledge, people who translate knowledge or work as knowledge brokers who facilitate knowledge interaction, or anybody that actually makes policy as well. And that can be international development, or it can be in any other sector or any other industry that you like, really. And it's relevant for all of those as well as academics and students at various levels as well. It's a very kind of accessible and broad range with a purposefully targeted wide audience. Well, the way we've tried to begin to simplify, at least for entry points in the book, into the way that you can really understand the complexity of the policy-making process, is not to list the multitude of different types of actors, like NGOs or bilateral institutions or certain types of networks. We'd rather kind of take a step back and just talk about knowledge, those that produce it, those that use it, and those that act as intermediaries in that process. So it's those three distinctions, really. We then provide, throughout the book, we hang that around much of the argument in the book with the recommendations in the conclusions section. And we focus on providing concrete, useful recommendations that can be used at very practical, some of the very technical, some conceptual side of understandings as well. But for knowledge producers, it's about recommendations as far and wide as understanding that you can't rely on terms like political will as an excuse anymore to begin to understand political context. It's about disaggregating the scenarios and thinking about pathways of change. For knowledge users, I think we also focus on the fact that they are not passive in what they request in terms of evidence or knowledge from recipients or from the organizations that they work with, that they are very active in promoting and actually orienting the type of knowledge that they are requesting. So I think one of the key recommendations there is to understand that there is a greater, or some organizations need to think very concretely about the type of information that they're asking for, whether that is actually appropriate for the policy that they're trying to promote. For intermediaries, the central core argument is to really break down this understanding that intermediary is a special function. It's like a media institution or perhaps a type of network. But actually certain departments or certain groupings of people within organizations actually act as knowledge intermediaries, and it's bringing alertness and toolkits for organizations to understand that they can intervene at various levels in engaging with different types of actors and the various capacity constraints that they have in doing that. So at the one end, you can just take information and disseminate it. That's merely informative. Whereas on the other hand, you can work on more of a long-term collaborative intervention, which actually requires a lot more resources and a different way of thinking and framing your institution in relation to that. So we bring all of this thinking along the lines of those three types of kind of generic actor types, really.